Aloha and mahalo for joining me. I'm Janet, and welcome to the Call to Create podcast. I'm so excited that you're here today. Okay, let's get to our topic today. And we're coming to the end of Money Week. And now today I want to just recap. We talked about money. I called it Money Week. But today I want to recap the things that I have talked about all this week. And so on episode 128, I talked about the 4 things that are the greatest stress for women when it comes to their finances. Because I did many interviews years ago, and I also surveyed a lot of women, dozens of women, about their finances. And so I talked about the 4 greatest stresses, because there's so many things that happen when you're working with women and you're talking about money and all of that kind of stuff, because life gets in the way of important things like dealing with money. And then on episode 129, I talked about an investment and an investment portfolio. And when you first hear that word, it's not what you think, because, or it's not what I'm talking about when you hear that word investment portfolio. But there's things I want you to put in there. Okay, and then in episode 130, I talked about one more thing that I wanted you to put in your investment portfolio, and it has to do with 30 minutes a week. I talked about taking the time and scheduling in a week at least 30 minutes to take care of your finances, because these are all things that I do and have done, and I know they work because I've helped other women with these things as well. And not to mention, I've worked in the bank a long time ago. So I know all of these things are crucial. They may not be fun things, they may not be an exciting thing to talk about, but they work, and it's important that you do them. And today I wanted to do a recap, because if you can actually take the time and talk about your money and finances and get it under control, it's less likely that your money will control you. Because what I know to be true and what has happened is, if you don't manage your money, it will manage you. And if you don't control your money in a way that's healthy, it's going to control you in a way that's not healthy. Okay, now that's a truth that you can't deny, and that's a truth that I've seen over and over. Now, I'm not perfect in my dealings with money and finances, but when I've done crazy things with money, I realize, like, oh, okay, I'm not thinking straight right now. Maybe I'm upset about something and I spend more than I should have. But then, you know what? You just go back and you just try to fix it and do what you can do to take care of the debt or whatever, right? There's always steps to take. It's never anything that's not fixable. Okay? But today's investment that I want you to make into your investment portfolio is to try and figure out how you can save money every month. Because this is something that all people who teach about money and talk about money and to help you understand it will always tell you, you have to save money. There is just no way around it. And even now, with what's going on in the world with the pandemic, so many people have lost their jobs and they're out of work and they don't have money. I don't know, of course, everyone's financial situation, but if you just watch the news, which I don't really recommend too much, but you see people standing in food lines and filing for unemployment. A lot of people are out of money. Now, I don't know if they've had a savings, or there's no way I could know any of that unless, I interviewed every single person who's standing in a food line or filed for unemployment, which is impossible. But that's kind of beside the point, right? The point is that if you make an effort to save money and have it as a backup just in case anything were to ever happen, like you lose your job, or if you have a spouse and your spouse loses your job, you have a little bit of a cushion. I don't know if you're saying, okay, yeah, well, I don't make enough money to save, or I'm not working right now, so there's no way I can save. But what I'm saying is that as soon as you're able, make an effort, make that a first priority in what you do with your money. Okay, save it. If you're only able to save $5, which that may sound crazy, but $5 put on the side is better than no dollars. Okay, five is better than nothing, because over time it adds up. And then, if your finances get better, then you're more likely able to save more and more each month. But if you make it a priority and write it down, tell yourself that as soon as you're financially able, you're going to start saving money. Because the worst thing that can happen is if you or your spouse loses a job, or if you have your own business and then all of a sudden your business comes to a screeching halt, like many millions of businesses have. That's the worst feeling in the world, when you don't have income coming in and you don't have a savings. It will definitely keep you up at night. It'll make you cry, and who knows what else. But if you have a little bit of cushion, you're less likely to have so much stress and anxiety. And, that's why I have you write down any money, income coming in and all the money going out. Because when you know those numbers, you'll know how much money you're going to need to eventually save. Now, it's always good to have 6 months more, or 6 months to a year worth of savings. So like if your expenses per month, that all the expenses you have to pay come out to, let's say, maybe $5,000, right? To the extreme. Some maybe more, some people, their expenses are less. But let's just say if you have a total expenses of $5,000 a month, well, you may think that, okay, there's no way I'm going to be able to save 30,000, or you might be thinking, there's no way I can save that much money to be able to have a cushion. But you know what? If you actually care more about your security, as far as if anything were to happen, to have a backup plan, to have a savings, you're more likely to make that effort. Now, save what you can. It's not always possible right away to save money, or to save that specific amount that you would need. But my point is that make an investment in yourself, that you will, as soon as you possibly can, to start saving money and putting it in your investment portfolio. Okay, this investment, you want to diversify. You want to have as many things in that investment portfolio as possible. Okay, this investment is for you. You're investing in yourself because you're important and you have worth. So thank you so much for being here and listening to the things that I'm teaching and the things that are true. You do what you can and take care of yourself, invest in yourself, and take this moment for yourself, because when you take care of yourself, you can take care of your loved ones. And please share this podcast with anyone who you know would get great value out of listening to it, especially if you know that they're thinking about starting their own business. Or even if they're not, there's still great value that I share in each episode that can bring value to women, even if they aren't interested in starting their own business. And please rate and review this podcast. I would appreciate it. And thank you so much, ladies. I hope you have a great day. Aloha.